Ignition sequence start.
Good morning. You're looking at Mission Control Houston, the International Space Station Flight Control Room at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, and the team of specialists who are keeping an eye on station systems as the first 24 hours of Expedition 63 passes quietly into history. Commander Chris Cassidy and flight engineers Anatoly Ivanishyn and Ivan Wagner are in an extended sleep period to get their days and nights realigned with the ground teams after a long day seeing off a trio of crew members who returned to Earth early Friday morning.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Kayla LaFrance. As we count up to 20 years aboard the International Space Station, we reflect on a historic moment of adversity and triumph.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This week marks the 50th anniversary of the flight of Apollo 13. During that mission, flight controllers on the ground and the crew on board worked together to turn a life-threatening situation into what has been called a successful failure. This week on the orbiting laboratory, Russian cosmonaut Oleg Skripochka handed over command of the station to NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, who arrived on a Soyuz with his crewmates last week. Skripochka and crewmates NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Andrew Morgan then said their farewells as the hatch was closed to their Soyuz MS-15 spacecraft. They undocked from the station to return home, bringing their Expedition 62 mission to an end. After the nearly 4-hour journey, the crew landed safely in Kazakhstan and were greeted by a recovery team before they parted ways to head off to their home nations. The next planned crewed flight to the space station, currently set for May, will be a special one, with the arrival of 2 NASA astronauts aboard the SpaceX Crew Dragon. And if you look closely, you might see the return of an old friend. The retired NASA worm logo is making a comeback to help capture the excitement of a new modern era of human spaceflight. It will make an appearance on the side of the Falcon 9 launch vehicle that will ferry Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley to the International Space Station as part of the Demo 2 flight, making the return of human spaceflight on American rockets from American soil. Keep sending in your questions using the hashtag AskNASA. And for more information on the incredible mission of Apollo 13, we invite you to download episode number 139 at Houston. We have a podcast where you can hear the thoughts of crew members James Lovell and Fred Hayes about their fateful mission. We'll see you next week.
This mission is Chris Cassidy's 3rd visit to the International Space Station, his first assignment as station commander. And despite having already spent 182 days in space at the time he launched, most of that on board this space station, Cassidy says he'll be savoring every minute of this flight.
The space station is much bigger than people think. You know, when you tell people that I'm going to go live in space, they're picturing this tiny thing where you've got to turn your shoulders, to pass each other in the hallway like a cramped submarine. But it's big. And you can spend a whole day and never see a crewmate except for maybe a meal. The other thing people don't realize, it's a machine, just like your car or your house or your air conditioner. It's gonna break, and stuff does. It's just the nature of machinery. Because people sometimes, what, it broke? What do you mean NASA has a thing that's broken in space? Well, yeah, it's a machine, it's gonna break. And that's what we need to do, is keep it running. At the end of the day, there's several things in a mission that requires a person to turn a wrench and fix it. On my first mission, I was a shuttle crew member and we were helping construct the space station. My second mission as a a space station crew member, we were just kind of getting up on step on really pushing the science systems of the space station and getting the most out of all of the assets that the space station has to give for science and research. Now I think we are just humming along with the science and research. The greater community and particularly the specialists in Building 30 and Mission Control really know how to run the space station and keep it going well so that we can devote tons of astronaut hours to science. That anniversary is kind of special to me in the sense that Bill Shepard was the commander of Expedition 1, United States Navy SEAL, and I will be the commander of Expedition 63, 20 years later, a United States Navy SEAL. So there's been 3 of us, Shep, myself, and now Johnny Kim, who have come from the SEAL community to be astronauts, and I think it's really pretty cool that there's the bookends of the 20 years of station will be commanded by Shep and myself. What am I looking forward to most on this mission? This is my 3rd one, and I am going into it with the mindset of I'm going to cherish every single day that I'm there, because it might be the last days that I get to look out the cupola window and see Earth. So I'm really looking forward to appreciating every one of those days. I'll be happy to get back to Earth, to be with my family, but I'm really looking forward to valuing each of those days while I'm there. I'm astronaut Chris Cassidy. Thanks for being part of Expedition 63.
The mission of the International Space Station includes figuring out how to support the human crew members during long-duration missions away from the safety of Earth, plus promoting international cooperation, serving as a home for scientific research that can't be done on the ground, and being a test bed for future technologies, things we'll need to support our plans to explore farther than before in the years to come.
Making Space for Technology Development. Presented by Science at NASA. The International Space Station, or ISS, is Earth's only orbiting laboratory. That's important because it not only allows us to conduct research that benefits all of us on Earth, it also provides the only microgravity environment in which we can test technologies critical to our deep space exploration in the near and far-term future. Here, engineering models can be validated, and new technologies and systems for future missions can be demonstrated, without risk to crew members. Historically, the Mercury program enabled the Gemini program, which in turn enabled the Apollo program through technology and systems advancements. Today, the space station is giving us a similar experience in long-duration spacecraft operations and serving as a testbed for new technologies and upgraded vehicle systems, which are enabling future missions. Dave Horniak is NASA's ISS Technology Demonstration Research Portfolio Manager. He notes the ISS lets us demonstrate that a technology works as intended in a spacecraft environment. Demonstrations on the space station inform operators and flight crews how the system operates, proves interoperability with other systems, and demonstrates system safety and reliability. There are many technologies and capabilities that need to be developed as we move forward to the Moon and onto Mars. For example, researchers have recently tested a new design of solar array that will be used on the first module for the Deep Space Gateway, our future space station that will serve as a home base for astronaut expeditions to the Moon. Solar arrays in operation right now need to unfold before becoming active. But new designs allow future solar arrays to roll out and also retract. They were tested for strength and durability on the ISS and were designed to be more compact than current rigid panels. NASA's Orion Multipurpose Crew Vehicle is a 4-person exploration craft designed to take astronauts farther in space than anyone has gone before. Its backup navigation system uses a new technology that is optically based. It captures images of the Moon or Earth, and based on their size and angle, an algorithm determines Orion's location. These optics can't be tested on Earth because our atmosphere would distort the images enough to make the algorithm inaccurate. Aboard the ISS, however, the algorithm was confirmed to work properly. A secondary benefit is the system was tested at spacecraft speed, making for a realistic navigation scenario. As people travel deeper into space, they'll need solutions to a variety of safety challenges. For instance, if a fire breaks out, how fast can it grow and spread in a microgravity environment? NASA's Spacecraft Fire Safety, or SAFFIRE program, has already conducted a series of experiments on 3 ISS cargo vehicles to measure flame growth, oxygen use, and combustion products. Results are helping to improve spacecraft fire detection, response and extinguishment, and crew protection. Ultimately, says Hornyak, technology and operations demonstrations occurring on the ISS today are guiding our planning, reducing risk, and providing capabilities to enable future exploration missions. For more inside information about the tech being tested aboard the station, visit www.nasa.gov/ISS-science. For more on the science of space exploration, visit science.nasa.gov.
In addition to being the hands-on laboratory assistants for science research in space, the International Space Station's crew members spend some of their time sharing the experience and working with students to teach them more about scientific concepts. Astronaut Scott Tingle made this demonstration video about the importance of nutrition for men and women who are of this planet, if not on it at the moment.
Hello, and welcome to the International Space Station. My name is Scott Tingle. Here on the space station, we live in a microgravity environment, which makes eating here a very unique experience. To stay healthy, we have to maintain a nutritious diet, just like we would back on Earth. Let's go take a look at some of our food and drinks and check out our meal preparation area. During long-duration spaceflight, we have to make sure that we receive enough energy, proteins, and vitamins. Our food lab back on Earth makes sure we get plenty of each as they carefully prepare, test, and package everything. We combine all of this excellent nutrition with exercise to ensure our bodies stay healthy and strong while we're here. We eat 3 square meals a day just like we do on Earth, and maybe throw in a snack or 2. One of my most favorite foods to eat are natural raisins. Here on Space Station, we have to keep our calories up if we want to get all our work done. And the carbohydrates in these raisins really help. And they're kind of fun to eat, too. And how do we stay hydrated in microgravity? With these special pouches. They're filled with water, and we use a straw that has a one-way valve that prevents water from floating out of the pouch while we're not drinking from it. Here's a liquid drink. This is a tropical punch for today. I love drinking fluids on station. Here on station, we have a pretty cool food preparation area. We have a place to get fresh water for us to drink or to put in our rehydratable foods. And we also have an oven to put food in. We pick out some of our favorite foods, chicken fajita for me. Put it in the oven. Close the door and turn it on. In about 15 minutes, I'm gonna have a warm meal. Thanks for exploring a little nutrition with me. I'm gonna send you back to Earth so you can create your very own astronaut menus. See you again soon.
Today, April 17th, is the 50th anniversary of one of the milestones at NASA, the splashdown of Apollo 13, with the astronauts alive and mostly well after an onboard explosion canceled their plans to land on the moon. The program that made good on a president's challenge to America also had the profound effect of inspiring much of a generation of Americans to a lifetime of exploration that continues right up to today and tomorrow.
The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not. And it is one of the great adventures of all time.
And no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations
Can expect to stay behind.
But why some say the moon? Why choose this as our goal?
Why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Expedition 12 Commander Bill McArthur with a greeting for his Expedition 11 counterpart.
Because of your work, because of the ingenuity, dedication, and entrepreneurial spirit reflected in this room and throughout the American space enterprise. Since the end of Apollo 11, we've forged incredible breakthroughs in our technology that have allowed us to go further, more safely in space than ever before. And let me be clear. The first woman and the next man on the moon will both be American astronauts.
This coming Wednesday, April 22nd, is Earth Day, and it's the 50th anniversary of the first observance. Check nasa.gov/Earth Day for all the events NASA's planning in recognition. For astronaut Drew Morgan, he took time 2 weeks ago, while getting packed up to return to Earth, for a long look out the window, taking pictures of the planet that is the focus of the upcoming event.
It's April 6th, 2020. It's early in the morning on our really long day, like an 18-hour day where we're going to do SpaceX release. And so I've got some free time, and I was going to do a little bit of photography with this 16mm lens, which is a wide-angle lens. It's kind of nice because it captures pieces of the space station as well as pieces of the window, and it kind of frames the pictures nicely. It does cause a little bit of distortion, exaggerates the curvature of the Earth, but I like them because it kind of gives the pictures a more spacey feel when you can see the ISS and the window and the curvature of the Earth. So, taking some photos here. So we're flying northeast across, just flew across the Red Sea. Now this is Saudi Arabia. We just saw the Nile River a second ago. Sinai Peninsula right over here. Sinai. See the Nile River there? There we go. So that's the Sinai, Red Sea. You can see the Mediterranean. I like this perspective better. can see the full Nile River out in the distance there. This is one of my favorite views, one of my favorite passes is coming over this corner of the Middle East, Africa. It's almost always clear. Oh, there's cool. That's cool there. You can see all of Israel. I'll take a shot of that. And the Dead Sea. You can see the Dead Sea. Open these windows. This is the last window I hadn't opened up yet. This looks the back half of the ISS, and there's the Russian segment and the Progress vehicle, and there's the Red Sea back there behind us as we passed over. And then straight up, this is called window 7. This is looking, we'll say nadir, or straight down at the Earth. And then over here, you look over here. That's the Cygnus vehicle there. That'll be here for a couple more weeks into May. But looking down, that's the Arabian Gulf or the Persian Gulf, depending on your perspective. And now we're crossing over into Orion. So I suspect this is maybe pieces of Orion right here. And this is the, I had to double check my math there, but yeah, that's the Caspian Sea here. The Caspian Sea is beautiful as well. It's huge. First of all, enormous. I just can't get over how big it is. And then it has some really unique colors in the waters. These look tropical. So as we make our way in the velocity vector, the direction that we're traveling right now, so we're still on an ascending nose, so we're still traveling northeast over the Earth, and then eventually we'll start heading south as we hit the transition point where we go from an ascending to descending node. So it'll be about 51 degrees north latitude, and then we'll start heading south. And then as it works right now, we'll hit sunset kind of over the Sea of Japan, over Japan here shortly. So we're in the middle of Asia now, over Kazakhstan somewhere. A lot of cloud cover, not a whole lot to see. A bit of earth limb here. All right, well, that's a morning. I just got up, unshaven, tore out the cupola, taking some pictures with a 16mm lens at the beginning of a very, very long day.
In the 19-plus years of continuous human habitation of the International Space Station, many of the 240 different human beings who have been there have had a profound shift in their worldview. Apparently, looking down on the entire world, as Drew Morgan was just doing for our benefit, has that effect on people. In fact, the phenomenon has a name. It's called the overview effect.
have ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, all engines running. Launch commenced. Liftoff. We have 3 minutes past the hour.
My first sunrise from the Soyuz is a moment I will never forget. You couldn't wipe the smile off of my face. It was really amazing.
Experiencing the views of the Earth, it's just, so incredible. It's just almost overwhelming when you first see it.
As much as we love the pictures that we bring back, it's not the same as seeing it yourself.
There's no words to come close to the ever-changing picture that I see staring at this planet.
If you'd like another look at the stories we featured today, check us out. We're on YouTube and Facebook at the addresses right there on your screen. And be sure to look around because you will find lots of other cool stuff about NASA and America's human spaceflight program. If you're going to be out on the internet anyway, you can also easily check out Houston, We Have a Podcast. That's where we talk to folks about their work in all aspects of space exploration. We post new episodes every Friday. Today, in recognition of the Soyuz landing and return to Earth of the Expedition 62 crew members, Gary Jordan has put together a first-person narrative to take you along on a trip to Kazakhstan to pick up station crew members when they go bump in the desert. It's a good listen. And next Wednesday, by the way, special for Earth Day, we'll post early with a talk with the scientist in charge of Earth observation experiments on the space station and learn about the value of what they can see down here from up there. Go to nasa.gov/podcasts for today's episode. It's where you'll find all of our previous episodes too, and the full library of all the NASA podcasts, all of which you can also listen to on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud.